Phyrexia All Will Be One is here, and it brings with it over 200 new and returning cards. Some of them are broken, some of them are jank, some of them are flavorful, some of them are flavor fails. But all of them are chock full of little details we, the players, can enjoy, and in this video, I'm going to go over a list of my top 5 interesting details hidden away in the cards of All Will Be One. Number 5. This will be our third visit to the world of Argenta Mirrodin New Phyrexia, so it's no surprise that most of the cards on this list are actually callbacks to cards from previous sets. On our first trip to Mirrodin, we received the Spellbomb Cycle, a series of 5 1-drop artifacts that let you pay mana and sacrifice them for a small effect, or let you pay mana and sacrifice them to draw a card. When we returned during the Scars of Mirrodin block, we got another Spellbomb Cycle, this one letting you sacrifice them for a small effect, and whenever these spellbombs were put into a graveyard from play, you could pay a mana to draw a card. Our number 5 entry on this list is the most recent addition to this mega cycle, the Skull Bombs. These warped spellbombs show that New Phyrexia has corrupted every facet of Mirrodin life, even the artifacts they create. In addition to having, well, skulls as their base rather than pure artifice, the Skull Bombs are sort of an improvement over the original cycle. Still costing 1 mana, their owners can pay a mana and sacrifice them to draw a card, or pay some more mana and sacrifice them to draw a card and get a bonus effect at sorcery speed. With Phyrexia's domination of the plane, it only makes sense that the newest iteration of the Spellbomb Cycle is a twisted vision of the originals. Number 4. In our number 4 spot, we have Graz's Unstoppable Juggernaut, the very first legendary Juggernaut in the game's history. And while that alone is impressive enough to warrant some attention to this big guy, what's more interesting is what kind of Juggernaut Graz is. He's a leveler. Long ago, the levelers were machines of raw destruction set out across the landscape of Mirrodin at Memnarch's behest, terraforming and destroying the landscape and killing anyone who got in their way. With Memnarch's defeat, the levelers were left lost and leaderless, but they continued their destructive march across the world. Graz here showcases that these monsters are so powerful that not even Phyrexia can get in their way and survive. Number 3. The Hero of Bladehold is a mythic rare white creature released in Mirrodin Besieged that was pretty popular for a bit thanks to her ability to create 2 tokens whenever she attacked. 12 years later, and this character has received not only a name, but some lore and a legendary card in Rhea Ivor, the Bane of Bladehold. By now, she's been completed by Phyrexia, but she's still a 4-cost 3/4 that creates tokens. She's even got Battlecry, like the original. Rhea Ivor's card showcases not only Phyrexia's victory over the most valiant defenders of Mirrodin, it shows us that even now, in perhaps the worst period of lore, WotC can still acknowledge what came before and give us some interesting and flavorful cards. Number 2. For the number 2 slot, we have a card that made the cut thanks to its flavor text alone. Back in Mirrodin Besieged, the Ogre Resistor was printed with the flavor text, "He didn't have a word for home, but he knew it was something to be defended." This is widely agreed to be one of the most somber pieces of flavor text in the game, and it brought to mind the knowledge that the Mirrans weren't just fighting an invasion force, they were fighting a threat to their very existence, and all life on the plane was called on to resist the Phyrexian threat. Now, over a decade later, the Ogre is still fighting as the Resistance Skywarden, and it's clear he's learned a thing or two. When the Volshok taught him the word for home, he knew it was what he had been fighting for. Not only is this flavor text a heartwarming sequel to a previous card's flavor text, it helps remind the players that even with Phyrexia's apparent near victory, hope for a free Mirrodin persists and fights back with everything it's got. It's a lovely card and a lovely nod to a previous visit. Number 1. And coming in at number 1, we have the only card on this list that isn't a callback to a previous set. Instead, we have a story detail showcased in the art. The borderless version of Jace the Perfected Mind shows him pulling a weapon out of his chest, and while it may be hard to make out with the black and white art, this is actually Luxior, the sword Elspeth acquired during the events of the New Capenna story. During the finale of the All Will Be One story, Elspeth takes this same sword and plunges it into Jace's chest, and when he gets back up not too long later, pulling the weapon out is his very first action. Now, it's no great secret that I'm not a fan of the story attached to this set, but regardless, having alternate card art showing off a story beat is something that I'll always enjoy and appreciate. That's it for today. What do you all think? Are there secrets in the cards you'd like to share? If so, I'd love to hear about them. Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, of course, please leave a like or consider sharing this video with your friends. If you subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, you'll be alerted whenever I upload new videos. Finally, this video was brought to you by my wonderful patrons. Patrons support the channel with their donations and in turn get early access to all of my lore videos. If you want to support me directly, go check it out. A link will be in the description below. Thanks again so much for watching and have a great day.